Hello and welcome to TLDR Game Series Closet. Today we're going to be previewing Knights of Glory by Blue Gear Games, which is going to launch on July 23rd. Come check out a quick overview and then I'm going to give you my thoughts. Knights of Glory is a 2 to 5 player bluffing, press your luck, dungeon crawler that is played until one knight exits the dangerous dungeon and becomes one of the few elite knights. Players begin by placing out the sell, start, and exit cards on each end. Solve each tier deck separately and draw 2 cards at random, placing them face down starting from the start card. Place the glory tokens next to the dungeon and all knights on the start card. Shuffle the weapons deck and deal out 5 to each player and give players their voting cards. Now starting with the most experienced knight, play is ready to begin. A player's turn is comprised of 3 possible actions: advance, discard, or pass. When a player chooses to advance, reveal the room in front of the knight and roll the number of dice on the top right corner. Play 1 card face down on either the dice or on the weapon symbol to show you have this weapon. As you advance, more dice are rolled and the weapon symbol can only replace 1 dice face. All players will vote to agree or disagree that you are telling the truth. If everyone agrees, discard the weapon and advance onto the next space. The active player can now choose to either press their luck and advance further, discard as many cards as the tier level, or pass. If anyone disagrees, the player will reveal the weapon. If they were telling the truth, move forward and all players who disagreed will move back 1 space, and then you continue your turn. If you are bluffing, then your turn ends and all players who disagreed will move up 1 space. Wilds can be played instead of weapons. These cards are played face up, and if no card is played face down, then the voting phase is bypassed. Voting is also bypassed if the blank dice face is ever rolled. After all players have taken their turn, shuffle the discarded weapons and deal them out until all players are back up to 5 in their hand. The first player rook will move clockwise and the next round will begin. Throughout the game, players can acquire Knights of Glory tokens to use instead of weapons. Players can acquire these tokens by either successfully advancing by playing 1 gesture card, catching someone bluffing at either the start card or the final room before the exit, advancing to a new tier with fewer weapons in your hand than the tier, or by successfully passing a death trap by using its optional dice. There are 3 specialty cards in the game: the Cell, Death Trap, and Exit card. In the Cell, players will lose their voting rights and only escape if they play a key card, play a wild, play a glory token, plea bargain out by showing 2 weapon cards from your hand, or the round ends. The Death Trap card adds additional dice to the roll of the room. If you decide to use them and you advance, you gain a glory token equal to the number of glory die. But if you fail, then you go straight to the cell and your turn is over. On the exit card, players reveal all cards face up. If you succeed, you escape the dungeon and the final round is triggered. If you fail, then your turn is over and you discard all cards from your hand. I've had a fun time playing Knights of Glory. I've played it from 2 players all the way up to 5 players, and they've each been completely different experiences. The greatest thing this game has going for it is its replayability factor. Now each of the tiers have tons of cards that you can randomly choose from, so each game is going to be completely different. And you can also do an advanced setup, so instead of drawing 2 cards, you're drawing 4 cards out of either tier 2 or tier 3, which then adds more ways you can play this game. At its core, Knights of Glory is a bluffing game, so if you do not enjoy the bluff mechanic, this is not the game for you. But if you're like me, who does enjoy a good bluffing mechanic, but just sucks at it, I think you'll really have a good time with it. Supposedly my friends think I have a tell either when I'm bluffing or when I have a great hand, but I think they're lying. Blue Gear is working on a solo mode for Knights of Glory, but it's just not fleshed out yet. Hopefully it gets there because I've played different variations of it and it can get quite difficult, so I'm really excited if they do put it inside the game. My biggest complaint about Knights of Glory is that it just doesn't scale well at lower player counts. This is a player-driven game, so at 2 players you don't have the same interactions as you do at 5 players. Anyway, that's our preview of Knights of Glory. If you want to see a playthrough, you can check out the links below where we have a playthrough with Michael and Lynn. Check out Knights of Glory on Kickstarter on July 23rd, and we'll see you there.